Mhm. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to our class. Today we are going to learn how to make a pastel azteca brought to us by Isabela. And I'll hand it over to Isabela so she could talk a little bit about what we're going to do today. Very excited.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for the introduction, Tere. Very excited to be with you here today and hosting this class with Northgate. We're going to be learning how to make a pastel azteca, which is basically, you can say it's a tortilla casserole if you need an actual definition of what it is, because pastel azteca sounds very, it's vague, but it's so delicious. It's kind of like, you could say it's kind of like a Mexican lasagna, because it is made with tortillas and with lots of Mexican flavors. And we're gonna, you layer them. So the tortilla would be your, what is your pasta, your lasagna. And then we're gonna layer on top of that. And we're gonna talk about ingredients, and we're gonna talk about flavors. And we'll also talk about the many variations of pastel azteca that you can make. Because you can make, this is kind of like, you can make it poblano with some like poblano cream. You can make it with mole. You can make it, it's kind of like enchiladas, you know, when they're baked, you can make enchiladas. So you can, it's a very versatile dish, but today you're gonna learn my recipe, which is a family favorite. And you can eat it all day long. We have it sometimes for breakfast. Sometimes we have it for dinner. Other days we have it, we've even had it like for Thanksgiving, sometimes as a side or Christmas. So it's a year-round recipe, but I love that the weather is very fallish today, has been here in California. So very cozy tortilla casserole, aka pastel azteca. So let's get started, you guys, and let me know if anybody's cooking along. I can pace myself. I'm also cooking with you. So any questions you have, place them in the chat. And I'm very happy to respond, okay? Let's talk ingredients, okay? So we're gonna do, I have a pan right here that I have on medium high heat. I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm gonna eye it out, 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And then we're gonna add 2 garlic cloves minced. Garlic cloves. And we're gonna add 1 white onion, roughly chopped, okay? That already smells good, and we're not even halfway there. So this is the salsa that is the base. Well, it's like basically the glue of the pastel azteca. This is what's gonna give it so much flavor. It's gonna make that, it's like our marinara, okay? This is our salsa for our pastel azteca. So one white onion, roughly chopped because we're gonna blend this. So this is a salsa. This is the beginnings of the salsa. So you don't need to have it finely chopped or anything. You won't get a huge piece of onion in your pastel azteca. Okay, so we're gonna cook that for about 5 minutes, and I'm also going to add 1 pasilla ancho chile, which is a dried chile, and I seeded it, so I got rid of the stem and the seeds, and I'm just gonna also roughly chop it and add it in there. And this is gonna give it so much flavor, and you only need 1. We're also adding a chipotle when we're blending, just like this, roughly chopped. And we're going to add it to our pan.
Jessica Pasillas dice que si sabes el origen del pastel azteca.
El
que
origen.
Es de Jalisco y Zacatecas, y que no he escuchado de él.
Okay, I'm going to be honest. I do not know the origin of pastel azteca. I know that every family has a different version of it. I know some people make it with totopos instead of like store-bought totopos. Instead of the whole tortillas, I'm making with whole tortillas. I think it's something, I don't want to say new, but I think it might be something rather new than from our ancestors. But it's definitely Mexican ingenuity at its finest, because it's so easy to put together. And I tried this, I've actually only tried this in around from Tijuana, and I also tried this in Ciudad de Mexico, in Mexico City. But I did not get the exact one.
So
somebody-
Google said that it comes from Oaxaca.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. I'm gonna add a little pinch of salt to our onion and pasilla and garlic mix. Salt always helps bring out the water in our vegetables, so I would like to add a little pinch. And we're just gonna saute until that onion is a little translucent and it's already very fragrant. So this is our base to our salsa. That already smells good, you guys. So in here, we're going to add 7 Roma tomatoes that I have here, roughly chopped, and we don't need to get rid of the seeds or core them or anything. We're gonna add them in here, okay? When we're done cooking our cebollita, ajito, and pasilla, ancho, chile. This is also a great like weeknight meal. You can assemble it a day in advance and then pop it in the oven the next day or the day you're gonna eat it. So it's a very easy dish to eat and to make. It's easy to assemble. So you can do all your cooking one day and then just eat it the next. Okay, so in here, maybe you can show them how the onion looks like before I add it. So in here, I just sauteed my 1 white onion, my pasilla, and my 2 garlic cloves that I minced. And I'm going to add my 7 Roma tomatoes in here that I'm gonna continue to saute. And I'm gonna add another little pinch of salt so those tomatoes release all their juices, okay? This salsa is also a great salsa as a base for sopa de tortilla, if you wanted to fideo seco. So this salsa is very versatile, you can use it, and I like to use that in my recipes. Recipes within the recipes that you can use for other things. We were talking about that this could be a great salsa de chilaquiles. We were also talking that it could also be a great, I was talking because I was talking with my mom earlier, and she was saying, I love this salsa like for enchiladas. And I'm like, it's a great, like, I don't want to say basic because it's not basic, it's very extra and flavorful. But it's a very nice base for a lot of other recipes. And while that is cooking, because we want our tomatoes to cook a bit and to saute before we blend them. So that's going to continue to saute in here. I'm going to talk about the filling, okay? So this is our salsa and we're going to talk about filling. So the filling is, in here, I have 1 large chicken breast that I cooked in water with onion and a bay leaf and a little bit of salt and pepper, and I just shredded it, okay? You can also buy Northgate's rotisserie chicken, pollo rostizado, and grab you can say about 2 cups of shredded chicken, and that's what you'll be needing for your filling, okay? Entonces es un pastel azteca relleno de pollo con rajas. So these are 2 poblanos that I seeded and that I cut into julienne strips into rajas. We don't need to char them or to oven roast them or to char them over the stove burner. We're just going to saute them. We don't need to get rid of the skin or anything, okay? And we also have here 2 zucchinis, or calabacita italiana, 2 large zucchinis that I also cut into rajas or julienne strips, okay? So this is going to go with our chicken and with our rajas. And here I also have 1 cup of corn that we're going to be using. So you could say it's kind of like a raja filling, but it's going to be coated in this beautiful red salsa, okay? Let me know if anybody has any questions. Uf, esto ya huele. Smells so good, you guys. So good. Pastel Azteca. And your oven, if you're cooking along, your oven should be at 350 degrees. Because we're gonna put that in the oven once we're done and layering. Oof, that smells so good. Okay, so our base for our salsa is finished cooking. I have my tomatoes, my onion, my garlic, my pasilla, and I'm also going to add into my blender one whole chipotle in adobo, okay? Chipotle. In my house, there's always a Tupperware in the fridge with chipotle and one with jalapeno. So one chipotle in adobo. I like to make, and you can definitely add more chipotle if you taste it, but I definitely like to make this pastel azteca just the way it, like this, and then I add a little bit of salsa matcha on top. Well, and everybody can add to their taste and make it more spicy, but I make it very, very family friendly or kid friendly. Okay, so in here I have all my ingredients for my salsa that I'm going to bring to my blender. I'm going to add my chipotle in adobo in here. Oh. I'm going to add my salsa. Bring this over here. So remember, you can use this for enchiladas, sopa de tortilla, huevos rancheros. So this salsa, and you're gonna see it. So right here, we just have the vegetables, and maybe you can show them how the salsa looks before we blend it, because you're gonna see how creamy and how silky it becomes when we blend it. So this is our salsa, which smells delicious. I wish you guys could smell it. And it's going in the blender with that chipotle en adobo, whole chipotle en adobo, and we're gonna season with salt and pepper to taste after blending. I also make my my pastel azteca poblano with a poblano cream sauce, but I wanted to switch it up and I wanted to do this one that I also make a lot. And you can use the same pan for cooking your filling. Okay. Serve this, and we are going to blend until smooth, and we're going to taste and season after. Always season after. Don't season before. We only added 2 little pinches to our pan, and that helped our onion and our tomato release all its water and excess juices. But always season after, okay? And let's get to blending, you guys. That's good. I'm gonna. Oh, you can smell that chipotle.
Yeah, they have a question. Were the salsa work for chiles rellenos?
Yes, you can actually use the salsa for chiles rellenos as well. It's not as brothy. It will be a little bit more creamy, but it can definitely work for over chiles rellenos. I'm gonna try it one more time. Need salt and pepper. But it's so good. It's smoky. The smoke. It's the poblano en la pasilla. The poblano en la pasilla. La chipotle en la pasilla. bring out so much of the flavors of our tomatoes and our onion. And add salt and add pepper. And we are going to blend and taste again. Just a quick blend so everything incorporates. Oh. This is so good. Oh, para los chilaquiles. That's really good. Okay, so that's ready. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna leave it in the blender, but I am going to reserve 1 cup of this salsa. And I'll show you what we're gonna do with this later. Really good, you guys. So I'm gonna leave this here. Okay. So we are reserving 1 cup of that salsa for a later use. Okay. So next what we're gonna do is we're gonna cook our filling, okay? So I'm gonna turn my pan on again to medium-high heat. I'm going to add now 4 tablespoons of butter. And I love adding butter to my rajas. I feel we're not adding crema directly in here. We are adding it to our pastel azteca, but I love corn, rajas, zucchini with that butter. Tastes amazing. And I'm only adding a little bit of olive oil so our butter doesn't burn. And that helps. That's gonna help our butter not. I always when you're melting butter, do a little bit of olive oil if you're cooking savory, and that'll help your butter not to burn. Okay. So we're gonna have that. That was already room temperature. We're gonna allow that to melt. I'm actually gonna switch burners so that one's the slow one. Place this here. This is a prepared baking sheet for when we're gonna flash fry our tortillas. Okay, so I'm just gonna place it right here. A little bit in the way. There we go. So butter in here for tablespoons and just a little drizzle of olive oil so it doesn't burn. And we are going to add our poblano strips, okay? Our hats. 2 poblanos seeded and stemmed. Oof. There we go. Going to saute, okay? The heat. Butter, poblanos, amazing. And we're just gonna allow those poblanos to cook a bit. We just need it to sweat a little bit so they can cook. Remember that our filling's gonna finish cooking in the oven, and it's gonna be layered in between tortillas and the salsa. So we don't need it to be super, super fully cooked. We just want it to be sauteed, okay? Because it's gonna finish cooking in the oven. That cooking. And then we're going to add, after our poblanos have been sauteed, we are going to add our 2 zucchinis that we also cut into julienne strips. Please let me know if you guys have any questions, comments. If anybody has ever tried a pastel azteca before, or is this your first time cooking one or trying one? Here I like to serve it with some frijolitos, some beans on the side. You can also do rice, but I really like how it pairs with some beans on the side, which we are also putting with just 1 layer of beans that we got at Northgate. We'll see, okay? They're mashed beans. Ooh, the dogs can smell it. It smells so good. Now, you can also make this vegetarian. You don't have to add chicken. You can just do the zucchini and the poblano and the corn. If you wanted to keep it vegetarian. Ooh. And those are smelling really nice. I'm going to add my zucchini strips, these rajitas de calabacita, to my pan. I am going to add a little pinch of salt. As we know, zucchini has a lot of liquid extra that we want to get rid of. And while our zucchini and poblano strips are cooking, I'm just gonna combine them so they cook evenly. While these guys are cooking, I'm gonna turn on my other pan with my 1 cup of oil. I like to use avocado oil because it's really good for, it reaches very high level temperatures and it doesn't burn and it doesn't get rid of its nutrients. So I like to use avocado oil when I'm frying. Maybe you can show them how just how the strips, nuestras rajitas, the beginning of our rajitas, our filling is looking. So that's cooking in there, and I'm gonna get my oil going. I have about 1 cup of oil in here. Taking a little sip of my mica while that gets hot, nice and hot. Jamaica. Recently I like to cook my Jamaica with a little piece of cinnamon, a cinnamon stick. Amazing game changer. And then I add a little bit of topo chico to my Jamaica, and I serve. This is my go-to drink, and you can also add mezcal and tequila or whatever kind of picante you want, but this has been my go-to lifesaver. It tastes amazing. It's like a Jamaica sparkler. We're gonna continue to saute our poblanos and zucchini in that butter. There we go. And we are using 18 tortillas for our pastel azteca, okay? I use 6 tortillas per layer, and we're doing 3 layers, okay? So I'm gonna get counting while that cooks and while our oil gets hot. So 18 tortillas. I'm actually going to switch this one. For our pastel azteca, you guys. So good. This combo is amazing. Smells so good. And see how our oil is doing. We're gonna need some tongs. So for easier assembly, I love using baking sheets to help out when we're assembling or when we're layering or stuff like that. So they're a great tray that helps for a lot of things. So I have this one lined with just a paper towel to get any excess oil drained. And I'm gonna be placing my tortillas on top of my baking sheet with my lined with paper towels. Okay. That oil becoming hot. Let's check our oil. Okay, still not high enough. Wait a little bit. And what we're gonna do with our tortillas, we're gonna do a flash fry, okay? We're gonna quickly fry them about 2 minutes on each side, because you don't want them to be hard enough. You want them to be pliable, and also bringing them in the oil is gonna help the salsa and everything to stick, okay? This our oil wasn't super hot, I actually did a little bit, but well, when it's hot, we're just gonna do a little flash fry, okay? So that's what so it's a quick, basically it's a quick fry. You don't want to make tostadas, you want to make you just want to have your tortillas become pliable. Oops, smells good. And to our questions? And to our poblanos, I'm going to add our corn at the end, our 1 cup of corn. Because what are rajas without corn, right? Elotito. We're gonna combine this. And we are going to season at the end. I just want that corn to become, just saute a bit with all these other flavors. Okay, let me get my tortilla. There we go. So we need 6 tortillas per layer. We're gonna be frying some tortillas, okay? I'm gonna season my rajas with salt and pepper. And these are good to go. I'm gonna turn these off and I'm continue frying my tortillas. I'm gonna fry 2 at a time. And while my tortillas are frying, I'm going to combine my 1 large chicken breast that I have here shredded. This is nuestro relleno, so this is our filling. We'll combine this with our rajas. We're gonna add our remaining salsa, okay? Yes. It makes it easier. So we need 6 per layer, okay? Any questions? Comments? Concerns? Continue frying. So I have my first layer of tortillas. And I want to show you. show them how it works. So I have my casserole, my oven-safe baking dish, and I'm gonna add 1 cup of the tomato salsa as our base. This is gonna help our tortillas to not stick to our pan. I also like to do this when I'm making lasagna. I like to add a layer of the base or a liquid or something so the lasagna doesn't stick. What we're gonna do with that. And then I'm gonna add my first layer of tortillas in here. Show them how I'm gonna overlap them, okay? So instead of cutting and making perfectly shaped strips or anything to fit in here, this is gonna be perfect. So you're overlapping your tortillas, you're making your first base, your first layer of tortillas in here. Just like that. And there's honestly no wrong way of doing this. So they can be overlapping, they can be, and we're gonna continue to fry tortillas, okay? So here I have my filling. And what we're needing for our first layer is 1.5 cups of frijoles de Northgate, okay, from their cocina. So I'm only adding, this is the only layer that has beets, okay? So I'm gonna add, but it's so good because it's la base, okay? So I like to use a rubber spatula, kind of like you're making a cake. Well, you're actually making a pastel azteca, so it's a cake, Aztec cake. So I'm just gonna spread that evenly. And that's our first layer before adding our filling. Just like that. There we go. Okay. So I'm continue frying. And I would normally fry all my tortillas at once, have them right here. So you can have all that ready to assemble your pastel azteca. But we're cooking along. This is real life cooking class. So we're gonna cook as we like. You'll also be needing 3 cups of shredded, I was gonna say shredded chicken. Shredded queso, shredded cheese. You can use Chihuahua, any kind of melting cheese. Today I'm using Monterey Jack cheese for our pastel azteca. This is the one that I buy at Northgate. Right here. It's a really nice bag, and we'll be needing about 3 cups of shredded cheese. To this side, because we're assembling. And I also bought Northgate crema agria, which is delicious, and we'll be needing about 2 cups. You'll also be needing some for drizzling or for topping at the end. Yes. Go. And I'm gonna get my last layer in so we can move on to assembly. Look at that, muchachos. I'm gonna add a little extra paper towel right here. And I like to work like this in batches, and I like to separate my layers. It just makes it really easy to assemble our pastelas. Okay, questions? Anybody cooking along?
¿Se puede probarlo?
Yes. The people who are here are gonna get to try it. That was your first question. Yes. Yes, yes.
So you're gonna have a lot of them run to your door right now after the class.
Yes. No, and I already have a lot of people who call here. They're like, are there gonna be leftovers? And I'm like, I think there will be leftovers. Mucho pastel azteca ahora. And it's one of those things like lasagna that tastes, no, I'm not gonna say better, but that tastes good even after, okay? Not after, a couple of days after. Esas cosas que se quedan en el refri y flavors incorporate nicely over a couple of days. This is one of those dishes. Una tortilla. So math wasn't my favorite subject.
Is it better to do it with yellow corn tortillas or white corn tortillas?
You can do it with any. I like to use these ones because these are the ones that I love from Northgate. But it's up to you. It's a preference. It's your choice. And honestly, use the ones that you have at home. And these are the ones that I always have at home. So these are my go-tos. Okay, finishing our, we just fried 18 tortillas, you guys. I don't know if you know that, but that was good. Remember, it's a flash fry, quick fry. That's why we want oil to be hot. Okay. There we go. Okay, our tortillas. So returning to our assembly, okay? So in here, I have my, you can show them. So in here, I have my filling. I have my poblanos, and I have my chicken, okay? And I'm gonna add my remaining salsa. Remember that we use 1 cup of salsa for the bottom, so everything doesn't stick. Just like that. And we're going to add our salsa that we cooked earlier. Oh, delicia. And I think one of our poblanos turned out spicy because everybody here can smell it. You see, had a little hint of red, so it was a spicy one. So this is our filling. Este es nuestro relleno, okay? And what I like to do is, since we seasoned everything separately, I also like to season to taste when everything is incorporated. So salsa, filling, pollo, poblanos. Never fly away. Let's try it. That's really good. We're just gonna season with a little bit of salt. Another little pinch. I think we're good on the pepper. Qué rico. So good. So this layer is going to be divided into 2. Nuestro relleno. So I'm gonna add half of our pollo filling, poblano filling on top of the beans, okay? And we're gonna spread it. Esto huele delicioso, señores y señores. That's about half. Y acuérdense, no pasa nada si se ensucia la cocina. Hay que ensuciarnos a veces las manos. It's okay.
They want to know what kind of salt you use.
Oh, I use sal Maldon salt. So it's a flake sea salt. It's not as salty as regular like iodized salt, and it's way healthier. And I love it because it's very you can cook with it, and you can also finish with it. So, and it's also great on dessert. So it's a very, very nice salt. I recommend using it. Kosher or Maldon, which is that fine salt. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna add half of our sour cream. Well, not half. We're gonna add sour cream to this layer and cheese. Okay. Just like that. Because we'll also be our last layer. We're also going to be smearing with sour cream. So don't get too excited with the sour cream because you want some on top as well. Pero aquí lo vamos a mezclar así. We're adding sour cream on here. And we're gonna top off with cheese. Shredded, nice shredded melting cheese. You can also use Oaxaca. You can use Chihuahua, Monterrey, queso menonita. So just like that. You can help, my hands are clean, so I'm just gonna push it down a little bit. And yes, all the layers fit in here, okay, don't worry. Okay, we're continuing with our next layer of tortillas. And remember, we're overlapping our 6 tortillas. Just like that. Just like that. Just like that, okay? And we're continuing. We're gonna add our remaining layer of pollo, zucchini, calabacita, nuestro relleno. We're almost there, you guys. We're almost there. Hang in there because it's tasty. Último capa de relleno. And we're continuing on. We're doing sour cream. Sour cream. Nicely spread like this. Crema. Just like that. Y queso. That. And for our final last layer, we're gonna add our tortillas. So we finish off with just tortillas, crema, and queso. And we are going to cover it with aluminum foil. Just like that. So that's our last layer on our pastel azteca. Grab my tapito. You know, if you're Mexican and you have a favorite tapito, a favorite dishcloth. Okay. So crema, remaining crema. Just like that. We can show them how this is our last layer, so we're only adding crema y queso, okay? Esta es nuestra tapadera, como quien dice. Just like that. And this is the one that I bought, which is amazing. So good. Just like that. These little spatulas come really in handy when you're doing like this. So look at that. Hasta parece un pastel dulce eso. De lo rico que se ve. Okay. And finishing off with cheese. Quesito. So this is going in the oven at 350 degrees for about 35 to 40 minutes. And after it's done cooking, remove the foil and just continue to cook for about 5 minutes so you can get that cheese nice and toasty, okay? And I'm gonna show you the final results. This is our mock-up, our edible mock-up. No, this is our star. Oh, we have another star. So this is gonna be covered in aluminum foil. It's going to be baked for about 35 to 40 minutes, and then you can remove the foil just for a couple of minutes so you get that nice crunchy, okay? So I'm gonna go for the big reveal of our pastel azteca. This one's heavy. Okay, so let's get rid of this guy. Oh, that smells so good. Okay, so that has been cooking for a while. Didn't get rid of the aluminum foil, which I should have gotten rid of, so you can see that it becomes a little bit more broiled. And I would also, before serving, but I'm gonna show you because I wanna cut into it and I wanna show you, before serving, just allow your lasagna, your casserole, your enchiladas, anything that you're baking like this in a baking dish, allow for it to rest for about 10 to 15 minutes. So all that incorporates and doesn't become all loosey juicy, but let's plate, you guys. We're gonna top up with crema, with more crema, with a little bit of queso cotija. It's up to you, that's optional, and a little bit of cilantro, okay? Into this guy. Wow, eso huele delicioso. No porque yo lo hice, pero si vas impresionada, pues voy a con esto. Bueno, la mía sí es impresión, es mi vida. And she also has her favorite taco, so that's for you. But hers is yellow. And it's her favorite one. Siempre dice, me van a enterrar con mi trapo. Donde quieran, pero me entierran con mi trapo. Okay, that's a true story. Okay, so I have salsita macha that I always have. And se me hizo agua la boca, like literally. I always have salsa macha in the fridge, and I'm gonna serve it with that because we want some extra spice. Y vamos a cortar, muchachos. Remember that if you let it rest, it won't be all runny. I'm not a corner kind of person, but no le voy a hacer fuchi a la esquina. Oof. Look at that. Remember, let it rest, and all this will be more glued together. Vamos por la crema agria. Top it up with some crema. Just a little bit, a little drizzle. Crema, just like that. Remember, the cotija cheese is optional if you already think it's cheesy, but it also gives it a really nice saltiness. And it adds texture. It's so nice to go for your plate. Okay. And we're topping off with cilantro because, and this is how I store my cilantro in the fridge, and it lasts really long. So I cut the stems and I place it in the fridge. Vean eso. We're gonna have to try it, obviously. So look at that, you guys. Pastel Azteca tortilla. It's basically a tortilla casserole. You can say it's our Mexican version of a lasagna. And let's try it. You guys, it's so good. Please, if you make this recipe, tag me, tag Northgate. We're always really excited when we make our recipes. Thank you for tuning in today. If you guys have any last questions, please put this in the chat or message me. for Northgate, and there you go. Provecho.
Thank you. That looks amazing. Es como like having a tamal in, I don't
Yes.
know, in October. I don't know, chilaqui. I don't know what it is, but it looks delicious.
It's really good and it's really different. And you switch it up.
And thank you all for joining. We'll see you in November, I think, again. But in the meantime, this Friday, we have our churro muffin class with Nicole. And next Wednesday, we have, I forgot, pollo en achiote with Abril. And thank you so much for inviting us to your class. It looks delicious. Y provecho.
Gracias. Thank you for joining our class.